It's still Sunday, November 10th, 2013, and you may have watched the strut video. Sorry, I wanted to make it a little bit better, but I was kind of in a rush. But I do want to do the brake video because the brakes on this Mazda are a little different. First thing you need to do, obviously, safety first, jack stands, take the tire off, and then here we are. First thing you're going to do, there's only one bolt actually you can get this caliper off with. There's a little cap here that covers it up. It's on the bottom. And you're actually going to be using a, what is this? 8mm Allen. So on the other side, I already did that. It was a little tough, so you may want to get a hammer too. So go ahead and insert the socket here, or the Allen, and we'll just get a hammer and tap that down. There we go. That one's a little tough too. I should have turned the wheel for this, but I've got some other work to do with the strut. Got to take the strut off this side, so go ahead and get it out. You don't have to take it all the way out, but far enough. We're going to go ahead and keep on. It's a little long, but instead of just recording this, I'm going to get this all the way out. I'm not going to take it all the way out, but you'll push it far enough to see there's a little boot. See if we can get in here. So here's the socket. There's a little rubber boot right there, and it kind of just rides in there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish getting this off, and then we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Before we go any further, make sure you have your brake reservoir cap off. I forgot to mention that in some other videos, and you don't necessarily have to have it off, but it makes pushing the piston in a lot easier. Shouldn't have set you in the tripod there just yet. Wanted you to see the bolt. Here we go. So here it is here. I've pulled it out a little bit. There's the rubber boot. You can see it's just enough to clear the caliper. So you may have to, as you're turning it with your Allen, you may have to kind of pull it out a little bit. But other than that, no big deal. Now these brakes are pretty well shot. So normally this should just pull up. We're going to get a screwdriver and pry them up. And they're pretty well hosed. There. Now this is one of the easiest brake jobs I've ever done. So you can see here, we've got the caliper. It's still on its hinge. Now this can come all the way out. You want to grease this too. This one's good and greased. There's a boot that, see all that grease? There is a boot that goes over it, but make sure you've got it good and greased. This one actually happens to be pretty well greased. Okay, next step, there's these little clips that just kind of keep the caliper pushed away. Move you down here a little bit. You can push those in and take them out. There you go. And then the brake pads themselves. You can see these are pretty well shot. Check the caliper, or the rotor rather, and see if there's any scarring. These ones, pretty fortunate my kid told me just in the nick of time that she thought her brakes were acting up. This next one, same deal. It's pretty well shot. So that's it as far as getting them done. Now you want to clean with some brake cleaner, what have you, if you don't want the squeaking going on. Here are the new pads here. And this is pretty easy. First thing we're going to do, we are going to push this piston back into the caliper because otherwise these new big beefy brake pads will not go in there. So what I like to do is I just use an old brake pad. Go ahead and set that there. You'll need a C-clamp. And we'll go ahead and little what you call it on this one kind of broke off. I don't know where it went, so. But just attach it like that and just start slowly turning it in. And this one kind of wants to dance around because it doesn't have that contact piece on there. Turn in, wait for a few seconds, turn it in, wait for a few seconds. And basically this is just pushing the brake fluid back up through the system. Now if you're overflown, or if you have too much brake fluid in the reservoir, it will come out, so take a note of that. This one does not. That's another good indicator, speaking of that, that you could need new brake pads. If you've noticed your brake fluid has went down and it's been a while since you changed your brake pads and you have no leaks, chances are it's just down in the line. So we'll keep on doing this. Wait a second. I get this question posted a lot, do I have to bleed the brakes? No, you don't. We're not replacing any lines, so there's no air getting into the line. Now if you replaced brake lines, or you had a broken one, or anything like that, yes, you definitely have to bleed, but not with just replacing pads. See, that's all the way in now. Be sure to get some brake grease when you buy your new brake pads. Ceramic grease. And I'm going to clean these rotors off camera. I would suggest you do the same. I'm not going to do them here, but sorry about that. You see, I've got them smudged out. Otherwise, you will get some noise. It'll go away, but here's the brake grease. Just smear some on the back side. I like to also smear. These are where the brake pads catch the metal clips up in the top, in the bottom. I like to just smear it in there. Just as long as you're not getting on the actual pad itself, which I did right there. We'll clean that off. And then some on the top part. And this is the brake with the indicator. Now, this indicator, when you get to a certain point, should squeak and squeal and tell you you need new brakes. Her old brakes, I have, the other side didn't have one. Some only have one. Yeah, this one has one, but it has broken off. So, don't know if she had them squeaking at one time and it broke off, or, what have you. So put some grease on the bottom side. And I like to put the indicator onto the inside. It's, different cars. This one came off on the inside, so I'm just going to continue that way. And the other brake pad, I'm going to do the same thing. And all this does is keeps them nice and smooth, prevents any, should prevent squeaks. You may have a little bit of squeakiness. It'll eventually go away. Yeah, like I said, these brakes are super easy, just that one nut. So we've got those probably good enough. And these, you only need one of these little packs for even 4 brakes. There's quite a bit in there. We'll go ahead and smash more in there. All right. So we'll go ahead and put the indicator in to the inside. Now these are a little tricky. Not really tricky, but they can be temperamental. On the other side, it liked the top going in first. That's the only hard thing, not even hard, but difficult thing about these brakes. Plus I'm trying to do it around the camera, so that doesn't help matters much. There we go. Got that side in. And if you notice, they're curved. They only go one way. If you're changing brakes for the first time or what have you, it'll make sense. There we go, we got that side in. Then don't forget your little pins. There's a little hole, just a little catch right in the front. There's that one. There's the bottom one, which you can't even see. Right here. Again, there's a little hole. These just simply... Now if you forget these, I don't know. This is the first time I've had a brake with these. I'm not sure what would happen. Now if you got your caliper pushed in far enough, or your piston rather, in your caliper, one thing you'll have to do also is you'll probably have to push this right here. Push that in a little bit further. But as long as you've got everything in far enough, there you go. Go ahead and tighten it back up, and you're basically done. You can see we've pretty much done this whole entire thing on camera. No fancy editing or anything like that. And again, this is the front. So the back, I don't know, I'm not changing the back. Usually the back with a disc brake are about the same, if not easier. Now drums, some people love drum brakes. I can't stand them. Of course, I didn't grow up in an era where drum brakes were predominant. So make sure you got that tight all the way. We'll go ahead and whack it a couple times with a hammer. And that's it. What you want to do is you'll start the car. Now the brakes probably will, the pedal will go to the floor. But go ahead and slowly back out, pump the brakes a little bit, stop, pump the brakes. You'll feel all that pressure go back in there and you'll be all set. So something that they charge a boatload of money to do, you see we just do it, you know, really quickly. And all cars are a little bit different, but I have probably 4 or 5 brake videos. I've covered, I think, a Nissan, this Mazda Protege, Grand Am, Sunfire, and maybe some others. I don't know. I forget. We're always changing brakes in my garage, it seems. So, for my kids. Anyway, that's it. But you can see these old brakes are definitely trashed. If you have any questions or comments, post those below. Also, don't forget to put your cap back on. There you go. Subscribe, and thanks for watching.